always believed that time is the most expensive currency. I am very meticulous about my time and the choices that I make because I see it as like they are my investments. Hey, I care for you, and I just want to remind you that taking care of your health is just as important as your work. That's why I've made Immuni Plus a part of my routine. This small sachet may look simple, but I love that it's ready to drink and packed with all natural ingredients. No mixing, no hassle. It helps me feel relief from stress, it refreshes me throughout the day, and helps me recover from all the busyness. It seriously gets me through my hectic schedule and keeps me going. At this point, it honestly feels like a superpower. So while you're out there serving others, don't forget to take care of you. Immuni Plus, make it part of your routine. Today, we are going to talk about the signal to noise ratio. Now, I'll give you a very good example about Kevin O'Leary describing Elon Musk having basically zero tolerance for noise. The second he realizes a conversation is not adding value, he is out the door. He walks away. And I don't find this rude at all. It's pure clarity. Now, I want you to think about your own day. How much time do you spend mindlessly scrolling, or how much time do you spend on the noise, the emails you don't need, the meetings that could have been Viber messages or Slack messages, or just mindless scrolling on TikTok? Audit your day. Now, don't get me wrong, TikTok isn't bad in itself. I believe it is an amazing platform for creativity, for sharing ideas, for connecting with your community. And from a business perspective, it can be very powerful, right? For one, TikTok can give you reach like no other. You don't need a huge budget or a record label to go viral. Sometimes one authentic video can reach millions of people overnight, and that's free marketing at a global scale. Second, it's a place where you can test your ideas, to test your MVPs, your minimum viable products, or from an artist's perspective, post a snippet of a song, a behind the scenes moment, or even just a thought, and you'll see instantly how your audience reacts. That kind of real-time feedback is gold for entrepreneurs and artists. Third, how I see TikTok is it's all about community building. It's not just about pushing content 5 times a day. It's all about starting conversations, creating trends, and letting your community feel like they are part of your journey. So those are the 3 advantages that I see about utilizing TikTok as a business tool. When used intentionally, keyword intentionally, that is all pure signal in the context of the signal to noise ratio. Now let's talk about the flip side, the disadvantages. That's when the business tool turns into noise, or even worse, addiction. When I reached a point where I was in this flip side, I had to do a personal audit. Was I on TikTok as a creator and entrepreneur, or was I letting it steal my signal? So I decided to cold turkey delete my TikTok 31 days ago. I have not been on TikTok for 31 days. At first, it was very hard. It was very challenging. I believe it was some sort of addiction withdrawal. Like, I had the urges and the needs to scroll. Never did I relapse, and I'm very proud of that. For those who don't understand what I'm talking about, when your brain gets used to that constant dopamine hit every 10 seconds, it's kind of like training or engineering your brain to only want quick rewards. And platforms like TikTok are designed exactly for that. Every swipe is like pulling a slot machine lever. It's gamified. It's an addiction model. You don't know if the next video will make you laugh. You don't know if the next video will inspire you or just be complete nonsense. But that unpredictability keeps people hooked. And over time, when you are stuck in this cycle, your brain starts craving that fast stimulation. And that's why scrolling comes so easy. It feels so easy. And on the other hand, focusing feels very hard to do. And beyond focus, it's also a very massive time thief. Hours I could have spent building my brand, creating music, or simply giving my mind to rest. I was handing all of that over to mindless swiping, and that's when it clicked. Controlling your signal to noise ratio isn't just about saying no to others, it's also about saying no to your own distractions. So let's go back to the signal to noise ratio theory. Most of us tolerate a ton of noise. Elon doesn't. Kevin says that Elon is all signal. And I was so obsessed to understand this practice, so I did more research. He only focuses on what matters. All signal. Kevin also compares this to Steve Jobs. Steve wasn't exactly known for being the nicest guy in the room, but he was the most laser focused in the room. Both Steven and Elon share this ability to cut through distraction and get straight to the signal. That's why they could build what they built. And all of this makes you wonder, what would your work look like if you operated with even 20% more signal and 20% less noise? So how do we actually apply this? Number one, know what your signal is. If you do not know what matters most to you, you're just going to react to noise all day long. Number two, audit your inputs. What are inputs? Look at your meetings, your inbox. Look at your social media. How much of it is signal? How much of it is noise? And number three, don't be afraid to walk away. Now, this might be tough for some people, but think of it this way. If you're in a meeting that's clearly going nowhere, you don't have to be dramatic and just exit mid-sentence. You can be polite, excuse yourself, or just decline the next time, okay? And most of all, understand that noise will always be around. It's part of life. But if you can train yourself to spot the noises and then filter it out, you will automatically give more space to your signal. And the more space the signal has, the more progress you're going to make. And that's what Kevin O'Leary was really pointing out about Elon Musk. It's not just that Elon was the smartest or most ambitious in the room. It's that he's relentlessly disciplined about what gets his attention. Another hack that I did, which honestly changed the game, was separating my phones. I keep one strictly for my personal life and also another just for work. At first, it felt very extra. Like, why do I need to carry two phones? The truth is, it helped me focus on things that matter at the specific time of the day. And that separation gave me control over my signal. For example, on my work phone, it was all business, right? Emails, music projects, brand deals, business Viber, scheduling, shows. That was all signal for me. Now on my personal phone, it's all about family, close friends, downtime such as my Bible, my meditation, my journal, things like that. It was a safe space for me to breathe and to reset. So it's like building a firewall for my attention. The noise stays where it belongs and the signal has room to shine. That boundary keeps me creative, it keeps me hyper-focused and sane all at the same time. Because if I had given in to all that noise, I wouldn't have built the Karencitta brand the way it is today. My identity as an artist, as an entrepreneur and philanthropist would have been diluted easily. And it took me so long to filter out the noise and double down on my signal. I've had to learn to protect my signal, the vision I have for my art and my life. And that means sometimes tuning out the noise, even if that noise comes from people I care about or opportunities that look shiny at first. First, I had to get real about myself. What am I distracted by? I had to audit my life. And then that's what really changed. Once I started doing that, the energy came back, the creativity flowed again. And that's when I really understood what 100% signal, zero noise felt like. Another little hack I use to protect my signal is muting people's stories and posts on Instagram and other social media platforms. This is not personal. It's not about disliking someone or cutting them off from my life. It's really about managing what I allow into my headspace every day. And the advantage is less noise, less distraction. Think of it this way. Instagram, just like TikTok, sometimes feels like you're walking into a crowded room where everyone is shouting for your attention. So I had to make the conscious decision to mute people because it wasn't adding any value to my life. And in the context of walking into a crowded room where everyone is shouting for your attention, I get to choose whose voices I actually hear. So that means I curated my feed to stay lighter, to stay cleaner, and filled with content that inspires me instead of overwhelm me. It also helps me focus on my own journey without constantly comparing myself to what everyone else is doing, because honestly, I don't give a flying. I don't need to know your morning routine. I don't need to know what you ate or what you did or who you spent your day with. It doesn't give me value. But of course, there are also disadvantages. So for example, when you mute, you risk missing out on real updates from friends and family, or life milestones or opportunities you might have wanted to support. Another disadvantage is that sometimes people even notice that you're less engaged and they might take it personally, even if that was not your intention. So for me, the key is balance. And I'm the type of person that if I want to catch up with you, I'll check in directly. I don't just mindlessly comment on your posts, react to your posts. I don't find that much value. I do, however, find much value with deep conversations in person, going on for a walk with you, getting a coffee, having brunch together, or just do a physical activity together. I like to check in directly that way, because that's the thing. Muting isn't about shutting people out. It's about curating your environment so your focus and creativity don't get hijacked by endless content. So if there is one thing I want you to take away from today, is that your signal matters. Your voice, your vision, your creativity. That is the frequency that you need to work on to protect. The noise will always be there. Distractions, temptations, they will always be there, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, emails, or people telling you who to be. But the more that you filter out, the clearer your signal shines. And trust me, Sita Babes, that is where the magic happens. Hi, Sita Babes. As a global creative director, I navigate both the creative and entrepreneurial worlds. I've always been in the pursuit for the untold narrative, the lessons that lie beneath the surface, and the unique perspectives that can shape a deeper connection within our community. It's these incredible stories that shape who we are and connect us in unexpected ways. Welcome to the Karencitta Show, Season 2. We're going to have intimate and inspirational conversations with thought leaders about topics that truly matter. After all, we all have a story to tell. Make sure you follow us on Spotify or anywhere you get your podcasts.